I'll look over it. Yeah.
That's nice. I like that. Okay, let's teach some stuff. Oh, we're starting at 6:15 now, right? Okay. Where's that Susie? All right, kids. Welcome to Kabbalat Shabbat. We're going to begin by teaching you every time that we'll be here, we're going to teach a new tune. As we develop the as we develop the diwan. The diwan is a collection of tunes and poems for a community. So we're going to develop on our Friday night anyway, for Kabbalat Shabbat, our diwan for the Central Reform Synagogue. Last month, I guess it was, the last time we were here, we worked on Yedid Nefesh, I think. Was it? Yeah. So this week we're going to work on two poems that generally are bundled together. Yigdal and Adon Olam. Did you catch the pages coming in? Yeah, there you go. I'm sorry. Is there a file somewhere? Yeah, those. Yeah, it was out there somewhere.
It should be on the table to the left.
They generally go together. They both have some oblique relation to Maimonides. I'm sorry? I don't know.
It's on. It might just need to be higher.
We'll get that mic cooking. Okay. So, and this tune that I've used before, here has some also oblique relation to a tune that is taken from a Sephardic tune from Salonika by way of Spanish and Portuguese synagogue in London that guards these melodies and preserves them. This is similar to that melody. And it works both with Yigdal and Adon Olam, but works better with Adon Olam. And you'll feel it, because we're going to start with Yigdal. Yigdal is based on the 13 principles of Maimonides, central principles, Ikarim, they're called. Maimonides tried to identify what's necessary in Jewish thought, what characterizes it. And because he's Maimonides, we sing the melody, but we don't really pay, everybody's got a different opinion on these principles. But it's Maimonides, and he's talking to us. He's always talking to us. So we sing this. This is almost in every service. Yigdal. Yigdal Elohim Chai Ve'yishtabach Nimtza be'einei del metziuto Echad ve'in yachid Ki yichud no nelam ve'gam ein sof Le'achduto לאחדותו. Now let's go to the first verse of Adon Olam on the back. Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra leid nasa b'chirtzo kol azay melech shemo nikara shemo nikara Oh yeah, now let's go to the last verse. Biyado afkid ruchi v'etishan v'ya'ira v'im ruchi geviyati Adonai li v'lo ira v'lo ira. Here's the last verse. Into your hands I entrust my spirit, the time that I lie down and the time that I rise up. With my spirit, my body too. God is with me, I shall not fear. Biado afkid ruchi v'etisha v'ya'ira v'im ruchi gaviyati Adonai 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 v'lo ira Adonai 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 v'lo ira Adonai 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 v'lo ira Adonai, 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 below. So you hear the difference between the two. With Yigdal, you have a lot more syllables. The prosody of the poem, you know, you have to fit those syllables in. There's basically I-ams. Da-da, da-da, da-da. Adon Olam is too, but less syllables. Plus, both poems end each stanza with an open vocalic sound. Yigdal, O. Adon Olam, Ah. And which one is more satisfying? Other than that, they're similar.
Begin. You know, I often think about how these prayer services came into being. You know, they were just people who came together with longing and trying to bring something beautiful and something uplifting and, I don't know, something that connected us, something that made us feel like we were part of something greater than ourselves. You know, Benjamin, I can't help but think of that when I think of you and your sister Eva, because some time ago we had this visitor. You were so little, I wonder if you remember Rabbi Ephraim Isaac. Do you remember him? Oh, he could not, he thought you were like the best thing in the world. Here you were, this beautiful young kid. Ephraim Isaac was the first African to go to Harvard. And he also taught at Princeton. He came from a village in Ethiopia where there was no running water and no electricity. And he managed to, there was something inside of him that just kept trying to be something bigger than himself. And he was born into the Jewish people in Ethiopia. And he just kept learning and learning. And when he learned to read Torah, he learned to read it upside down, because that's where he had to stand. And he actually told you this, I don't know if you remember, you were so little, but he couldn't believe that you knew Hebrew, English, and Swahili. It blew his mind. That right here, that he would come to St. Louis. There's some pictures of it, I think, on the wall. He would come to St. Louis and he would find you. I think your sister was too little. But you made such an impression on this man who was part of something bigger than himself, and he saw it in you. And I'll never forget how that felt. It felt so holy. It brought worlds together. It just brought worlds together. It made magic happen. It really did. So, talking about magic, just seeing Vicki here after knowing what you've been through, I wonder if you want to come and light the candles. Did you guys see the new moon tonight? Did you see the new moon as we came in? Beautiful new moon of Tevet. You know, no matter how sad you are, you know that creation is working with us to grow the light at the time of the new moon. And that's what we do on Shabbat. With our music and our poetry, our story and our song, our prayer, we grow the light. Oh, it's Jack's yard side. Oh, my God. We feel you, Jack. So take a pause, because Jack Oglander, blessed memory, he always taught us to take a breath, and before you respond, pause. Shabbat shalom. Yeah, good. So let's, Lacharudi.
Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem. Page 6, please. Page 6. We're going to welcome those angels. Welcoming those angels. Welcoming the angels of Shabbat.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Yashari, Malachi Elyon, Malachi Harachamim, Mi Melech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Malachi HaRachamim, Mi Melech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You notice we have an extra set of angels in this version. A third pole, the balancing pole, the angels of mercy, Malachi Harachamim. Barchuni l'shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Malachi HaRachamim, Mi Melech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeitachem l'shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi Elyon, Malachi HaRachamim, Mi Melech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Page 8. More magic. More of these sacred poems that the mystics of Tzfat and our dreamers and teachers gave us from long ago so that we could welcome Shabbat with intention. We welcome Shabbat, we welcome the angels, we welcome each other, and we welcome that which makes us whole. We reach to the Shekhinah, that holy godliness, that holy presence. Our 2-year-old granddaughter has a favorite book. That's where I was reading her Buddhist book, she calls it. It's a book of goddesses. And I'm telling you, there's goddesses in there and I never heard of. But she's 2 and she knows every goddess. Every goddess she knows. And the scarier, the better. She loves them. There's something holy about that, you know? There's something holy about children who can get outside of what they see with their eyes and feel with their hearts and know there's more. There's more to this. And that has to give us hope, right? There's more than just what we are seeing and hearing. There's more. And that will give us hope that we can make something of that. You know, infinite inwardness as well as infinite outwardliness. And lachadodi, the magic of daring to call for that which makes you whole. And then trying to imagine seeing her with all her glory and her beauty coming through the gates and joining us, filling the spaces between us with love.
לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבורך, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתחילה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה ומחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך ומיורי, אורי, תדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נילה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצות חולה. טוב אמונה סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Now we are ready to call each other to prayer with the words of the Baruch Hu on page 11.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach לעולם ועד. המבורך, המבורך לעולם ועד.
Page 15.
שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד.
seated. As we continue together on page 16. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושופך ובקומך וקשרתם מאוד על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים לחיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Page 18. You know, there are melodies that work, and then there are melodies that don't quite go with the words, you know? What melody works for you in this freedom song? We know that we left that narrow place behind, and we didn't go through the sea in silence. We went through singing. And just as that Adon Olam came alive, when Jim kind of channeled that melody that he sang before. That's his melody, but it just works. It's Adon Olam. It's perfect. So there are melodies that work for the Michamocha. Which one are you going to do? Where's this one from?
Morocco.
Oh, this is from Morocco. You got to know. You got to believe they know. They know this. They got it. With timbrels, with castanets, they're dancing through the sea. Page 20, please.
Page 20.
Page 20.
Page 20. Fros aleinu sukat shalomecha. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Baruch atah Adonai porei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Over us and over all people, and over Jerusalem, Jerusalem, Jerusalem. We are praying for the peace of Jerusalem, Jerusalem. Page 21, please. V'shameru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש שבת ויהי נפש The children of Israel shall keep the Shabbos, observing it in every generation as a covenant for all time. It is a sign forever between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days the Eternal One made the heavens and the earth, and on the 7th day God rested. Vayi nafash. God breathed the soul into creation. Vayi nafash. God breathed the soul into creation. Page 23, please.
You can rise if you're able, please.
Adonai sifatai tiftach. Adonai sifatai tiftach. Oh God, open up my lips that my mouth may speak a little poetry. Adonai sifatai tiftach.
Take a few moments. The prayers that are here, the prayers in our hearts. When you're done with your own prayers, we'll invite everyone to be seated and we will continue.
The middle of page 29, please. The one who does good don't let that goodness end. Go, you who give compassion. Don't limit that kindness. We have always put our trust in you. Hatov kilo chalu racha racha mecha ve'amerachem hatov kilo chalu racha racha mecha ve'amerachem ki lo tamu ki lo tamu ki lo tamu chasadecha me'olam kivinu lam me'olam kivinu lam me'olam kivinu lam. We have always put our trust in you.
Just a little bit of Torah, just a little bit of Torah, because this portion is just so wonderful. Vayigash. When we were in rabbinical school, forgive me if I've told this 1,000 times, you had to put your hand in a hat and pick out the portion for our senior sermons. And Jim got Mitzorah, like leprosy, boils, menstrual blood. He got, like the worst portion you'd think in the Torah. And I got Vayigash, this magical portion where everything works and everything comes together and the people are saved. Well, he spent months trying to trade. Nobody would trade with him. But the end of the story is that he gave the best sermon of the year on that portion. And of course, he got the prize for the best sermon, right? He did, I have to admit. But I think about this portion a lot because I spent so much time thinking about it, in rabbinical school. And I actually learned to chant it from Isaac Yerushalmi, who was a Turkish, our teacher from Istanbul. The greatest teacher, oh my God. And he taught me to chant it in a Sephardic trope. That sounded like my grandfather, it sounded like the sounds I had grown up with my grandfather. So I have a lot of attachment to this portion. But looking at it today, of course, every year we read portions and they're always different and they always have a different message. But so for this year, we have entered into a new secular year, a year that hasn't started too well, and a year that is bound to bring challenge. But tonight I want to give you the gift of this portion. The portion teaches us to plant seeds for something new, something unexpected, something that may give us a little bit of hope in this dark time. Judah, one of the brothers, one of the sons of Jacob, the brother that, along with the others, was responsible for getting rid of Joseph because he was annoying. And they threw him in a pit, and then they sold him into slavery, but they told his father that he had died. And, so he was gone. He missed his whole childhood and, with his brothers and his father. But in this moment in the portion, the brothers have come to Egypt because there's a terrible famine in Canaan, and Jacob, the father, sends them to the great prime minister of Egypt, who they don't know is Joseph, who has saved up enough food in the times of plenty to be able to be generous in the lean times, in the times of famine. So he not only has enough for his own people. Joseph was so wise, he saved enough for all the region so that no one would have to wage war to get food for their families. So Judah gives us the longest address in the Torah in this moment. He thinks he's speaking to the powerful prime minister of Egypt, and he doesn't know that it's his brother Joseph, who he and his other brothers had sold into slavery years ago, breaking their father's heart. Joseph had asked for them to bring the youngest brother, Benjamin, to him. But Judah knows that if something happens to Benjamin, this would surely be it for Jacob. He lost one son. He couldn't bear to lose another. Judah says, if something were happened to Benjamin, Jacob, our father, would surely die. His words are carefully chosen. He retells the whole story, and in the retelling, the hardest of hearts are aroused and opened to compassion. He uses the word Av, Father, 14 times. In his retelling, something unexpected and transformative happens that changes their destiny and ours if we let it. So there are 5 secrets, 6 actually, that I found in the portion. The first secret is in the very first word of the portion, Vayigash. The first thing you got to do if you want transformation, if you want change, if you want to heal the past, is you've got to get close. Vayigash, he approached. You have to dare to approach and to get near, proximate, people are saying, right? To move forward. If we sit still and wait, nothing will change. Vayigash, Judah got close. He must have been frightened. Joseph had been so unpredictable, but Judah knows that their lives and the lives of their family are depending on him. The second secret is in the word he uses when he addresses Joseph. He says, Be Adoni, please, my Lord. Or, as the Midrash translates it, be in me is you, my Lord. There is a bit of my Lord in me, right? In me. A bit of you in me. Judah is saying that he is counting on that common humanity to connect them, to help Joseph open to him and hear the story as Judah sees it, as Judah knows it. 3, then the magic words come. The final truth. When Einstein was asked what the point of religion was by a grieving father, Einstein said the point of religion is to dispel the delusion of separateness, right? So what is the final truth? The magical words that come in this portion? I think it's telling us don't be afraid to be too dramatic here, because Judah tells Joseph that if something happens to Benjamin, his father will surely die. Why? Because nafsho kisharav nafsho. One soul is bound up with the other. Their souls are one, dispelling the illusion of separateness. That's the third secret. And then there's a fourth. Fourth, we learn that the messenger matters. How will they possibly tell Jacob that Joseph is alive after all these years? The shock of finding out that he's alive might also kill Jacob. And this is where we meet a very interesting character in the Torah. We only meet her twice. Her name is Serach bat Asher. She should be in the goddess book. Serach bat Asher is only mentioned 2 times in the Torah. She is the favorite granddaughter and always able to sing Jacob's soul back into his body because she knows how to sing, that her soul song would carry beauty, pain, longing, and love and devotion. Her song was always a song of pure truth. Serach bat Asher was able to tell the truth in such a way that only poetry and song held together by beauty can deliver. She comes to Egypt as a child, and eventually she will show Moses where Joseph's bones are buried. Serach bat Asher never dies. She doesn't die, and she's still alive in the time of King David. We think maybe she's the one that taught him to sing the Psalms. She is the only one that's able to tell Jacob that Joseph is alive. The messenger matters, and everyone has to find their place in the story. And when we do, we see the transformation of stranger to family, knowing that telling the story in just such the right way, by the right messenger, helps us to see that somewhere inside the stranger is another sibling, a parent, a child, able to hear the anguish of another sibling, parent, or child. And fifth, the Sfat Emet, a wonderful commentator, describes the transformative moment when Judah's words break through Joseph's silence. He says that Vayigash Elav, Judah approaches him, Joseph, and him, God. Judah has only the ability to be a vessel for the truth as he sees it, the story as it is unfolded around him. And he is willing, here's the secret, to sacrifice himself, to go against all self-interest for the common good of the family, to redeem the situation. The Sfat Emet says that the Midrash says that truth was splintered into 1,000 pieces when God threw it to the earth, and it is now to be found in the human world, broken in pieces, fragmented, often in the form of broken narratives of personal struggle. Judah's speech in this portion to Joseph becomes the prototype of such narratives. And ultimately, the Sfat Emet daringly affirms Judah accesses Joseph and himself and God. And through these three dimensions of the same act, he comes to his own self, and he comes as close as he can to godliness and goodness. To come to Joseph is to save both himself and God from the deadly silence of the past, to begin to put the broken pieces of truth back together. We make room for each other's stories, and we see that everyone has a role. Everyone counts. Everyone matters, especially those who are most vulnerable, those who need our help the most. And we have to be willing to sacrifice time, comfort, resources, all for the common good. So finally, there is a sixth secret. One final step. What does Joseph do? He could do anything at that moment. He could throw him into the dungeon. I mean, that's what they did to him. He could give them just enough food, to have them keep coming back. Be dependent on him would serve them right. Whenever I ask kids this, they always say, throw him in the dungeon. But not Joseph. He hears those words, nafsho kisharav nafsho. His heart is opened. He lets go of blame and guilt. Joseph frees his brothers of their guilt. He says, you didn't bring me here. God did, so that I would be here in this moment to save, to redeem time, to save the family, to make a better future. The I-it relationships that Buber talks about, the competitive, untrusting, selfish ones, give way to I-thou. Nafsho kisharav nafsho. And for a moment, what happens is for the only time that we know in human history, at least from our telling of the story, there's peace. There's peace. There's enough food. There's forgiveness. And everyone is living together in peace for a moment. And so Joseph speaks up. First he weeps, pouring his heart out like water, as the psalm says. And he says, look, it's me. I'm Joseph, your brother. The narrative ends in a whole different way than it began. The family is redeemed through the story, and we continue on the path of our complicated and difficult destiny with more stories yet to be told. And in this, there is hope, with strategies that just might help us as we go forward. Amen. Hey, Jimmy, you got a poem for us? Come and say it up here so that people can hear you. Okay. Yehuda's name. Yud, Hey, Daled. Hey? No. Yehud. What? Yehud. Jew? Daled. Hey. Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. Oh, there's a Daled between the letters of Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. Oh. Yehuda. The holiest name of God, embedded in Judah's name. So he had to be the one to tell the story. And that's where we get our name, Yehudim. We are the people of Judah. So, it's a beautiful name. Well, we have a grandson coming. I don't know. Who knows? Not up to us. Okay. Good. Well, we should do a Mishaberach, a healing prayer. I know there's lots of people. Hey, are you here to remember Jack, your grandpa? Oh, what a wonderful thing. We'll have to tell another Jack story. Okay. So this is a beautiful Mishaberach that Avi has taught us as well from Jerusalem, right? This one from Jerusalem, where there needs to be a lot of healing as well. All the people who are working so hard to live every day in spite of the pain and the suffering. So for all the people that have asked us to pray for them, we pray for healing. Vicki we were praying for you, but oh my God, it worked. Sometimes it does. Beautiful. So for all the people that are on our list and the people that you're thinking of on the stream, I have a couple of names here. I don't see them. Actually, I know they're in here somewhere. They're in here somewhere. Are they in here? Page 2? Thanks, yeah, I know they're in here. Ah, here it is. Steve Arnold. I hope he's okay. Oh my gosh, Steve Arnold. Anna, if you're watching, Anna Navarro and Harriet, Anna, this is for you, and Alan Leibowitz and Safira Bat-Gadi, Dov Vasara, Jeff Raffleson, Vicki Freeman, Michael DePlacido, hope he's doing well, Alan Portman, Kabasara, Hannah Roberts, Marilyn Weiss, Amy Lampert, praying for you, Amy, Bitzalel, Cohen, Ofori, Daniel Tzvi, Ben Fega, Toiba, Ilan Nissenbaum, back in Florida, Curtis Behrens, Kaleni Chappell, Maggie Bradford, Jordan Cronemer, Drew Patchen, Robert Shepard, Meredith Berkowitz. And as you're singing, I know I have one more we promised we would pray for. So let's sing and I'll add it as I remember it.
המשוכם במרומים, בתחשב הרחמים, המשוכם במרומים, על עבדך שמחתך, אין מרחם בלעדך, על עבדך שמחתך, אין מרחם בלעדך. אצא תפילתי והוא של עזרתי, אל העיר אצא תפילתי והוא של עזרתי, במהרה דרור קרא לעם ונגבירה, במהרה דרור קרא לעם ונגבירה, רפאת צירי הנאמן כי אתה רופא אומה, רפאת צירי הנאמן כי אתה רופא אומה, את ראשי שוחלשי ותן כוח לנפשי, את ראשי שוחלשי ותן כוח לנפשי.
I remembered Sister Carla Mae Streeter, who I spent 35 years writing a book with. We really did. We spent 35 years meeting, having conversations that finally turned into a book. And she had a stroke. And I talked to her. She said, "All I ask, Susan, is you have your holy congregation pray for me." So I promised her we would. And I know that Teresa and there's some other people that have been sent in some names. A friend of Gail Wexler. Yeah, Teresa, right? And, just hold them in your hearts as we, pray for refuah shlema, complete healing. As long as we know we've done everything we can, that's our place, is to pray. So if you've come to say Kaddish, we'll ask you to stand first so that we can hear the names of the people that you have come to remember and honor. We'll start over here. Havalea. Tell us something about her. Oh. Of course. Well, I remember her, coming in and celebrating them. So may her memory be a blessing. Thank you for coming and honoring her memory by standing for her. We say that everybody's going to die once. You never die twice if people keep remembering you. And Yael, for your mom, Molly, may her memory continues to be a blessing, I know, through you. Right here. Yeah. Oh, Jack. Nobody quite like Jack Oglander, right? Papa Jack. He was something. He was something. He was a real presence. Touched a lot of lives and taught us to pause. Right? Lena, do you do that too? Ah, you got that from your grandfather, Jack. Beautiful. Right here. For sure. I'm sorry? Oh, for your grandmother? Oh, may her memory be a blessing. Want to say a word about her? Yeah. And I can tell you, nobody loves you like your grandma. Right? Perfect. Perfect. That's great. Well, thank you for coming here to remember her with us. Welcome back. Oh, good. Good, good. Sarah? Mm. Oh, gee. Skippy? Oh. Well, yeah. Somebody said to me today that they remembered we were doing Vivian Eveloff's funeral, and I didn't realize that her daughter-in-law, her son and daughter-in-law had lost a baby. And the daughter-in-law told the story about how Vivian came to London to be with them. And that before the daughter-in-law left the hospital, Vivian went out and bought her some special clothes so she didn't have to leave the hospital without a baby in maternity clothes. And she thought, that's somebody who gets it, who really gets it. But somebody else said, when they heard that story, they said they remembered when they came to Nathan Weissman's funeral, he died when he was 2, that we said at that funeral that there is always something you learn from a life, no matter how short or long it's given to us. So I'm sure Skippy taught your family many, many lessons that made your life, better, made your life richer. There might not have been a Sarah. You never know, right? So, for Skippy. Helene. Mm-hmm. Oh. Wow. Yep. Nafsho kisharav and nafsho. Souls bound up with each other, always are going to do the right thing, right? Thank you, Helene.
Yeah, my grandma, Sarah Fishbone, she died just a year after her husband, my grandfather, died. And I think she was lost without him. It was, they came from Russia really young, and I think they were just bound up.
It happens, right? Jimmy?
When you go home, Americans, you too, when you go home, Google Buffo, Buffo, in France. His name is Howard Buten, Buten. He performed under the name Buffo as a mime and an entertainer.
He was a clown, wasn't he?
kind of a clown, but for adults. A tradition that they had in Europe, but not much here. And many years ago, we were in a band together. I met him, big friends. And he was trying to get on the, maybe I shouldn't say this too much. Anyway, somebody advised him, he says, it won't go here. You need to go to Paris. And he did. And he had a great career. Great career. He was famous in France and all over Europe. And he wrote 5 books and 5 novels, was awarded a French literary award, and a really unusual person died last night in France. Buffo. Look him up.
Yeah. I'll read one of his books. He especially worked with autistic children.
Yeah.
That was his gift, you know. He just knew how to reach anybody, but especially children. So let's stand together with our mourners to let them know that they do not stand alone. I'm sure there are names in the.
Yes, we're remembering Hannah Liz, Hannah Zimmerman, the people who lost their lives in New Orleans, Roxanne Holloway, Janice Garbayo, Stephanie Wexler, Jimmy Carter, Charlie and baby Benicio, Shula Sasson, Beth Dierenfeld-Plosker, Merrick Edelman, Jordan Persian, and I'm remembering my grandmother, Susan Koppelman.
And Susan Koppelman, your grandma. What a great lady. Amazing feminist. Thank you for remembering all of them with us. Betty Seawack has a yard site at this time, as does Alan Freed's father, Howard Freed, Judy Sewell, Jeff Lovell, Sandy Cronemer, and Evelyn Krause, Jack Oaklander, of course, and Rachel Berkowitz, Rebecca's mom, Ted Grazeman, Essie's father, Toby Udovich, and Philip Caulfield. And then most recently, we have Bunny Shopper, died this week. Wonderful old member CRC, Ken Bach and Eddie Bach. Vivian Eveloff, whose service was here, and why we have these beautiful flowers today. Vivian was the founder of the St. Louis chapter of the National Women's Political Caucus, and also founded and ran the Sue Shear Institute for Women in Politics at UMSL. Real mover and shaker and changed the world. Emmanuel Binder, who is the brother of James, our beautiful security guard. Sam Fox, Molly Portman we mentioned, Sammy Schaas, and Susan Koppelman, of course, Jerry Glick, Carl Smith, Betty Miller, Morris Tamsky, Eddie Pepper, Marilyn Schreier, Ron Kramer, Dr. Eduardo Slatopolsky, Gary Sewell, Ann Lee Frank, Rhonda Banford, Philip Needleman, Ralph Wafer, Barry Chapnick, Marilyn Fox, Eileen Ehrlich. Boy, that's 2 who were so connected that one had to follow the other, Marilyn and Sam. They were together for so long. Rick Isserman, Shirley Lundy, Myra Levine, Gina Rotman, Yakir Hexter, and Roxanne Holloway. For all of these good people, for the people you've named.
Liz Hershkowitz's mom. Liz Hershkowitz's mom.
Liz, your mom, we remember her. May her memory be a blessing, and she was a blessing. I remember meeting her. What a sweet, sweet, dear person Thank you for bringing her into this space as well. And that's the thing. When we mention them, when we tell their stories, they're here with us. And the words of the Kaddish do that. They bring the words closer together so that we have them here with us for just a moment. So let us say together these more magic words, the words of the Kaddish that have held us together as a people for so long. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalmad yivrav yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon uv'yomechon v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael, v'agalav v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam omei omaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, V'yit hadar, v'yit talei, v'yit talal, shmei, d'kudashah, b'richu. Le'ilam min kol birchata, v'shirata, tushpachata, v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma, ve'imru amen. Yehi shlomo rabba min shemaya v'chayim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mrumav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, amen. May the source of peace truly bring peace to you who mourn and comfort to those who are bereaved among us, as we say together. Amen. Want to sing something?
Took me by surprise. Go. Hold on. Veimeru, 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 amen. Veimeru, 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 amen. Veimeru, veimeru, veimeru.
We can't let you leave without a blessing. So connect up if you can, or reach out to each other and give each other a blessing with thanks to Avi and Robert for joining in and singing and making music with us tonight so that we can find our way through this Shabbat and this new moon to continue to have hope and bring light and believe that there's a new story possible to be told. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May all that is good and high and holy keep you safe on this journey we're on. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'yechuneka. May the upper and the lower worlds get so close that they kiss and remind us that it can be better. We can do better. We can be better. And we will with grace and mercy and kindness. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And Jimmy always says, let's be the best versions of godliness, of God that we can possibly be, so that we can have peace, you know, the kind of lasting peace that we have been reaching for and yearning for and working for so long in our hearts, our homes, our community, and God willing soon. May there be peace on this planet as we say amen and Shabbat Shalom. Come and make a kiddush outside and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat